Hey friends, my name is Mitch, and today we're going to paint this cat from wildlife reference photos. So you guys know I'm a big fan of wildlife reference photos. They have a deal for, I think I could get 5 pets for $10. So this is pet number 2 that I purchased from there. So what this is I think it's like a baby lion type family cat. And I liked the picture. I thought it looked really good. However, the cat was standing in front of a wall, and he was standing on some carpet. So I wanted to enhance this and put him kind of back out in the wild kind of thing. So what I did, went into Photoshop, and I got a modeled wilderness background bokeh. And I'm assuming you know what bokeh is if you've done any photography whatsoever. It's just a nice model background that we have there. And I got that with field blur in Photoshop. So in the front, we have a darker grass mixed with a little brown. So I added brown to the green because I want that to sort of match the cat. You don't want to just have a brown cat and then all of a sudden green out of nowhere. So you want to kind of mix the colors through there. So that's what I did. So we're doing a lot of things different today. One big thing I'm doing is I doubled the size of the canvas. So it's much taller than my usual canvases are. And the reason that is I'm going to do a push-pull thing with this cat. The first thing I'm going to do is I want to enhance the height of the cat. So it's already like a long, tall, thin cat. So the height is already kind of a given, but I want to enhance that by making it a taller canvas, as well as I'm going to have a tall, thin frame that again is going to enhance the height of the cat. The second thing I want to do is reduce the height of the cat. I know that makes no sense. It's like if you have a really tall building and all you do is take a picture of it and you remove everything else, now you just have a really tall building, it looks weird. So that's the cat situation. So the second thing I'm doing is I'm reducing the height of the cat. Now, I'm doing that by number 1, I'm getting some tall grasses, and the grasses are so tall that it sort of brings the cat height a little down to size and makes it look more like a toy or a baby, right? And the second thing, I gave him a little friend, which is a little mouse here. So we're gonna modify the mouse to where the mouse is sort of pointing at the cat. So it's like the mouse is saying, hey, you know, I'm here too. I can stand up just like you and be tall. So the introduction of the mouse sort of gives him a friend. It gives some action to the picture, and it allows me to bring it into more of a cartoonish thing without making it so cartoony that it's dumb. Anyway, so that was my 4-minute introduction to what I'm doing. So let me get a glove on and we'll start with the base coats today. So base coat stage is where you just want to put some color on the paper. You just want to eliminate the background paper color by putting some stuff over it. So we're going to do that today. And again, this is going to take a while because the canvas is double the size, and I want this to be a showcase piece. We're going to spend time on it and make it good. And during that process, I'm going to teach you everything that I'm doing, and hopefully you can learn 1 or 2 things on here, and maybe teach me something by putting something in the comments. So if you like this, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. All right, so today we have, as always, Great American Pastels. Does anybody not know I like Great American Pastels by now? So I already looked at the color range for this, and the top of the head looks like maple, and then the middle section here looks like a mix of butterscotch and Santa Fe. Again, Great American Pastels. And then the section down here has a lot of whitish gray. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to make the whole thing white, you don't make the whole thing butterscotch, you want to mix it up. So that's why when you do base coats, you don't do 1 color, you do 4 or 5 colors. So let's see. Let's start with the middle here. I already touched it a little with butterscotch, and I didn't like that for that section. So we can get Santa Fe. This is Santa Fe 110.4. And we're just going to try that out here. And you can see the Great American is a really, really soft pastel. And yet, if you lightly, and I mean lightly, touch this to the paper like that, what you get is sort of a hair pattern. So we're just sort of going the direction of the hairs here. And then once we get to the outside, it's going to be a little bit darker, it looks like, because you have some shadow. I think we're actually going to do that with pencils, so I'm not going to be too concerned about that. But I do want to get some of these base coats down. Hey Sue, how are you? Is my stream okay today, Sue? So we're streaming over here. Got lots of action over here. Got a new lights. This should look bright with very soft shadows. And so somebody, I think Joan, had asked me about stripes. And we're going to do stripes here. Let me go over the basic rule of how to do stripes if you're going to do my method. There's different types of stripes. There's like really big stripes, and then there's smaller stripes. The smaller stripes you want to do with a pencil. The bigger stripes you want to do with a hard or soft pastel. What you don't want to do is get in a situation to where you have this massive stripe, like this big stripe here, and you're going over it with pencil. And the reason is because it's really dark, and a pencil is very hard and doesn't dump a lot of pastel. When you get into a super dark area, you want to dump pastel. Like you want to straight just dump as much pastel as you can in that area. And that makes it super, super dark. And that's what you want for those big stripes. But the little stripes, you don't want it as dark. So, well, we switched to Santa Fe 110.3. So that's a basic rule of how to do stripes. You sort of want to judge if it's going to be a big, dark area. You want to use a soft pastel. Soft pastel is going to just ditch a lot of dust, and that's what you want with a black area. And you can come in too with markers, and with the markers you can come in and with one of those really, really dark black, like the acrylic markers that's going to be light fast, you can come in and dump a bunch of acrylic into that in the very last step. Obviously that's not the first thing you want to do, but when you get to the end of the painting, you're about to frame it, you just want to kick those darks up a little bit. You can't go wrong with one of these really dark black markers that are artist grade light fast. Obviously artist grade light fast is the operative word. Hey Donna, I have a difficult time using gloves with pastels. I use them because I don't like pastel dust under my fingernails. It never comes out, it stays with you for the rest of your natural life, and it bugs me. Otherwise, I would just use my bare hands. Alright, got that. Coming in here, and again, we're just getting some pastel dust in here. So we switched from Santa Fe, which is a pretty, let's see, this is going to be lighter as we come in through here, right? So there's that, and then that goes into white. Into white. So these are the legs that are coming through here. Alright, so that's white. What we can do is get this gray, or those black latex. Yes. Alright. So, I really don't want white for this. I want a gray. Let's see what I have in the just light gray. Alright. So, well, that's not going to work. What do I have in light gray? I am going to have to go over here and get a different one. What do I have in light gray? Alright, let's try this. It's a little too much. What we can do instead is get a different color. I don't want that, I don't want that. What about that? I sort of like this. Like a magician. Sadly, I am a magician. I have probably one of the largest collections of magic items of anybody I know. Let's see. Like that, and then this comes in like that. So I got the base coats down through there, and then I'm coming over with something a little lighter. So once you get into this area, you have quite a bit of drama as far as the hair goes. You got hairs going literally every which way. So what we're going to do is just get... So this is a warm white from Art Spectrum. What I don't want to do is get a solid white here because I know that I want to go over with a pencil and get the really, really bright white. So instead of just covering it with that, we're going to go in with a warmer white. And then we'll come in with the bright, bright white. Okay, and then over here we have like a sort of a white like that, and then we have the stripe, and this is going to be a lot of pencil work right here. Alright, so I went in with a color other than white, and then I came back in here with the warm white, and now I'm shoving it pretty harshly into the paper because what I want is just a mix of colors at this point, because that's going to be all pencil. Alright, and this is directional fur here, and then as you come down through here, it's less saturated and it has like a light touch to it across through there. A light touch there. So these are a lot of stripes in the middle here, and we're not quite touching those yet. What I do want to do is come down through here and again get this white. Now I'm not completely filling the tooth with this white. It's really light touch. What I want to do is just get a hint of light color here, because again this is going to be all pencil. We're going to come in with our pencil, we're going to come in with our hard pastels and make a cool pattern through here. But for now I want to get the basic tones and colors, and the tones and colors here is white. So get a hint of white through there. We're coming down through here, got white there. Wow, this room is so lit. Feels weird. Feels like I'm on TV or something. Alright, on the Jerry Springer show. If he came back. Come back, Jerry, we need you. I think that dude's like 80 now, isn't he? He was not young when he started it. Alright, so that looks good. I like it. And we're using velour is the paper, by the way. So this is velour, standard velour paper, and all I did was tape it down. So that was the idea there. Alright, put the white up. And I know that this is going to be Santa Fe right here. So we got a Santa Fe 110.6. So when you're doing these pastels, these colors are numbered from a base number, which is the pure pigment. So that'll be like 110.0, which will be pure pigment. And then 110.1 will be a little more white. 110.2 will be a little more white. And what they do is they allow you to get a nice gradation between the base color and a lighter color. Sadly, they don't have it mixed with a darker color to give you that, but that's what I have Unison pastels for. They do a good job with that. Alright, so that's sort of out of focus, which is okay. That's really, really, really bright. We'll switch to butterscotch, because I don't want it that bright the whole way. Alright, that looks real good. So I want a little more desaturation in the background here, because obviously that's behind the cat. And I do want a lighter shade of butterscotch. So we'll get that. Alright, I got my whole butterscotch collection now. I feel better. So let's go butterscotch 910.4. It's going to do me good back here. And that's going to blend into the grass, so I don't want to highlight that a whole lot. And we do have stripes down here. So that looks good. And then we have white as we come down through here. But again, this is going to be a lot of grass through here, so I don't want to fill up the tooth with this white. I just want a soft, soft white. Nothing really eye-catching. This whole side of the cat needs to not be eye-catching at all. Alright, that looks real good. Cool. So now I want to come up through here. So this is a darker, like almost like a brown. So we have a dark brown here. I'm going to regret doing this, but what we're going to do is we're going to mix two colors together, because pastel is just dust. So what you can do is you can just mix a little dust with the other dust. And again, this is Great American. We're using dark brown 810.5. So what we're doing is just offsetting that color with a little dark brown. And that'll give it like almost a striped look. So now on the stream, you cannot see that. So let me move this over. Alright. So, and then as we get in the back of the cat, it is darker still. So now we're going to get maple. So we're going to come in and dump some of this dust in the maple there. Maple dust, like maple syrup. So this is going to be a Canadian painting. Alright. Just dump a little bit of that in there. Not a lot. Let's get our browser back in focus. Okay, cool. And then we have this light area here, just sort of fades in like that. Looks good. And then as we come down, again, we have a lighter area there. That looks good. And then as we get to the back of the cat there, we have a more butterscotchy area right here. So we're using the full extent of the butterscotch there. All right, that looks real good. Get this butterscotch and just make a couple of highlights. Like just something that catches your eye. It's just interesting to look at. Get up here, get that butterscotch. Like that. So that's 910.1, which is the very robust butterscotch. Okay, so I like that. And then as we come up, we're going to get our dark brown. And then we're just going to kind of touch that area right there. And again, this is just dust, guys. You can mix it, match it. You can do all sorts of cool stuff. Like I'm going to get this maple and just come in with a maple and just hit a little bit of that. And when you rub it in, it has that nice look to it. So it looks pretty cool. All right, so I'm pretty good with the behind. Good with the behind now. And let me zoom in. Good news, everyone. We don't have to paint the feet. I don't know why, but I'm like foot retarded. Like not even kidding. If you look at all the things I've done, just go and look at the feet. And you have like a laugh fest looking at my utter horrible mistakes with feet. I don't know why. I think it's because maybe I feel like I just want to finish the painting and go on with my life, and I really don't want to do the feet or something. But man, my painting feet are terrible. It's embarrassingly bad. Alright, so I like that. So that looks pretty good. So that was Maple 155.1. Okay, so at this point I want to do the stripes. And I'm going to be pretty harsh with the stripes. I'm not going to play around at all. We're coming in here. By the way, I'm almost done with this. I have to order another one. So this is the God of Pastels, Giro 513. I don't know what they put in it, but when you put it on paper, it is the darkest pastel you will ever put on paper. And the pigment load is ridiculous. I don't know how they do it. I mean, I've used a lot of different pastels, and if I get a hard pastel from like New Pastel or something, it looks nothing like this. You'll be sitting there all day with like some of the cheaper pastels trying to get this dark, this much dark. I say that as I put my hand in the way, so you cannot see what I'm doing. I thought that would be a fantastic feature for you guys. Zero learning. I don't know what he did because his hand was in the way. Alright, so this is just stunning. Tell me that is not stunning. Look at that. That is pitch black. I read on the news that they have some new pigment that they're working on or discovered or something that does not allow reflection of any light whatsoever. It's supposed to be the darkest dark you will ever have. And of course, you know me, I mean, I've like been stalking the news trying to find out where I can buy that. Oh, that would be so amazing. That would be amazing. All right. So you wanted to know how to do stripes, and everybody complains that you can't blend with velour. It's fine. There's your stripe. There's your stripe. Hard pastel. You see I pressed hard some places and light in others, right? So it's a mix. You don't have like I didn't just like mash and grind the pastel in. I got hard pastel someplace, hard press, light press. Now you see that makes a nice stripe with varying stuff. And then what you do is you come off of that just a little bit, like that. So you just have like stripes coming through. You just have extends it a little here, extends a little there. There you go. So that's a nice stripe. And then later, obviously, you put white hairs over it. It's going to give it some life. You don't just leave it like this, but for now, we will come up through here, and then we'll come down. And you want to go the direction of the fur too. That's very important with stripes. So these are thicker stripes. You have two kinds of stripes. You have the thin ones and you have the horrifically thick ones. And the thick ones is the one you want to pay attention to and put it really dark. The thin ones you want to come in with your pencils and make those. And you don't want to make a solid stripe with your pencil. You want to make a series of hairs. Because a stripe is not just a big blotch, it's a series of hairs. So here I'll show you with a pencil. So you're going to get a pencil and you come in and you make a stripe like that. And you just cover the area lightly and you leave gaps and that'll make you a stripe. I know you can't see that, but whatever. You get the idea. All right. Stripe there. Stripe there. And then we have like one right here. All right, and then we have the stripe up here. And this is going to take a little longer than making a dog or a cat. I did have somebody actually write me and ask me if I was going to make a dog. Which is funny because before I started making the videos, I literally did probably 20, 30 dogs in a row. So it's entertaining. I wish I had started doing this earlier. Alright, that looks good. And then we have a little stripe up here, not much. Like that. And we have little stripes here. And you're pressing light because you're going to come over these stripes with a with some hairs, light hairs, and you don't want to mash really hard because when you come over with the light hairs, the tooth's already filled, kind of thing, and you don't want that. That's no bueno. That is too high up. Pretty good. Alright. That looks odd on the thumbnail, but looks good in real life. Alright. Come down through here. Some stripes, and some stripes there, etc. Alright. What I want to do now is come down on the feet. And as I zoom in, we got butterscotch. We're going to go 910.4. which is fairly light. Just going to go in the direction here. Then as we go down, we're going to go from 910.4 to 9, we're going to go to Santa Fe actually. Santa Fe 110.3. So this is going to be a little more saturated. Camera should be ending soon, yes. A little more saturated. We're going to come over this with hairs, lots and lots of hairs. But when you do this area of the body, what you don't want to do is to look at the color of the hair plus the underlying skin, fur, whatever. What you want to do is only do the underlying skin and fur. Because when you put the hairs on, if everything is the same color as that hair, you're not going to be able to see it. And then you're going to get frustrated. Being frustrated is no way to paint. Or draw, or whatever this is. Go. All right, now I'm going to grab another glove and continue on. Like a doctor. Alright. I love it go all the way. Whatever. Alright, so now we're going to come back in with our butterscotch. We're going to do butterscotch 910.2. Just want a little light area here. And we're getting more saturated as we come down. In fact, this whole thing is going to be a little more saturated than what I usually do, because I do kind of want this to look like a little much of a Disney cartoon or something. It's going to be fun. Got a fun little cat. He's out in the wilderness with his buddy rat, mouse, hamster. Whatever. So I want to keep that tall, thin look throughout there. That looks pretty good. And at this point, I want to get a little dark. So we're going to get butterscotch, the more harsh butterscotch. Just come in here with a little bit of a darkness. Come in the area of the fur. So just a little hint of a darker tone right there. That looks good. And then in the middle here, he has a grayed out section in between the feet. So we're going to get a gray, and this is probably going to be too dark. Forgive me. This is going to be laughable dark, and I apologize. Okay, what you don't want to do is come through here and just go rrr, rrr. What you want to do is fill in the area in a fur-like direction. So you're going to come out like that. You're going to come in a little bit. In through there. Just play with it. A little up. Through there. Through there. Like that. So it looks like an area between his foot rather than a straight line. And you can come in a little bit through that, up here through there. Just have like a little play with the area there. Alright, looks good. And then we have just like a general gray area coming up through here. And again, we're just going the direction of the fur. And then once you get up here, you have this fur is going all sorts of different directions. So we just want to kind of get that feel right there. And then we can come back in with our 513 Ultimate Pastel and just have some shadows, like something interesting in through here. Whoa, too hard. Just have some shadows, because as you get up here, it gets a little darker. So we just put in some shadows, just sneak them in. Sneak in the shadows right through there, and then blend it in a little bit with your fingers. So now you still have that directional quality, and you have like this lighter area up here, but I'm literally just touching the paper at this point with that. Alright, cool. So you got that nice hair, fur look type thing. And then over here you have like a darker area here. Over here you got a little darker there. So you have like a nice variation of that. Alright, so as we move up through here, we need to get some fairly dark butterscotch right up and through here. And since we already have this light area, we can probably reduce that down. It's a bit too much. Switch to Santa Fe. Get like a light Santa Fe right here. Just a light Santa Fe. Like I said before, man, all you need is like 5 colors and you can do all sorts of stuff. So just get that, touch it just a little bit right here. You know that area there? That looks nice. Alright, cool. And let's get our dark brown and get just a little variation right through here. See, it's like not, I'm literally just barely touching this. Just want a little variation, like something interesting is going on through here. Alright, that looks good. That looks nice. Get a maple and extend this up just a little. What I don't like is a straight line. Any straight line in nature should not be there. Alright, so now I like it so far. I like it a lot so far. It looks really good. I'm startled. I thought this was going to crater. Alright, so now we're moving up to his neck, its neck area. And man, that is really saturated. So butterscotch is not a saturated color, but Santa Fe is very saturated. So we're going to use Santa Fe. So let me pick out what Santa Fe I like. Looks like, my friends, it's going to be a Santa Fe 110.2 day. Hey, that rhymes. Okay, come in through here. Wow, that's really borderline abusive pasteling right there. We're going to go Santa Fe 110.3. Oh, you know what I need? I need a mixture right between these two. I think they're both bad. I think these are both bad. Let me try butterscotch. Try like a darker butterscotch mix. See how that's going to work out. Oh, that butterscotch. That does the body good right there. Right, as we come under the chin is here. That's really dark. That's going to be pretty dark right under the chin. We'll go ahead and nip this a little bit here. All right, and then we smooch it a little bit. Come in here with a dark butterscotch here. Yeah, that's the ticket right there. That is the ticket, my friends, my fellow art geeks. That right there will make anybody happy. That will make anybody happy. Butterscotch. Oh, butterscotch just makes the world go round. When I die, I want to be buried with Great American Pastel Butterscotch. Just put a piece in my casket. I'll be happy. Well, not really, but put this there, and then a little darker butterscotch on the inside. That looks good. Looks real nice. And then this is all white in the picture. However, we're going to do that with some pastel pencil. Right, there, through there. It's probably not enough variation. In fact, we're going to get the butterscotch and bring it down here a little bit. Across through there, like that, and then we can come in here and give it some stripes, which is what it needs at this point. So you have like an area coming through there, down across through here. Just gonna kind of wing this. Doesn't really matter if the stripe is a little off, just as long as you're going in the general direction, all right? Through here. Sorry if I mess this up, I'm just kind of winging it. Realistically, we're going to do most of this in pencil, so. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Then we have that coming up through there. We already did that. We have like a little here. We have like a little come up through there. And then we have this stripe here. It goes like this. Like that. So that looks good. And then we have coming over here. Alright, that looks pretty good. Especially for a base coat stage, this looks pretty amazing so far. I am remarkably pleased with how this is turning out so far. Alright, that looks pretty good. And then we need pastel pencils around there to make it look alright. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the face. And how much of that can I get into camera? I can get a lot of it into camera, but I would greatly prefer to get even more of it in camera. And so we're just going to get this tape. I want to put a little bit of tape here and another little piece here. Again, this is a large painting. So good news if you like pan pastel, I ordered a few more because my selection is pretty barren. Okay. And we'll do pan pastel coming soon on a different surface. I'm not sure what surface that will be, but we'll figure something out. Okay, so as we come up here to the face, I want to make sure and leave these white areas in, because we do have a pretty bright white area right here. So I want to hit it with the warm white and be pretty directional about it. Like I'm not going to mess around with the direction at all. Just go straight into the direction there. Alright, that comes up and that comes up there. And then down here we have a little more like that, and then it grays out a lot. We do have a little piece here and there, around here. And then we have a more gray, and we can use our almost white gray here. It's a fairly light gray. What you don't want here is the same color that you used in the rest of it. Alright, so that looks pretty good. And then you have like this directional hair coming out through there. And again, this is base coat, but I'm OCD, so I'll spend a lot of time on the base coat. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that, especially for a base coat stage. Again, we're going over that fairly heavily with pencils, so I'm not too concerned about it. Alright, at this point I have black Where did my magic go? Magical 513. If you only get one pastel, it gets a 513. You will be the most happy person ever once you get this dark, it's dark green. Does it look green to you? Doesn't look green to me. It's dark green, but whatever they did to the pigment makes it bananas dark, beautiful. When you go in your pastels and you go for dark, you don't really want to mess around with it. You want to go fairly dark. And the reason is my Moore theory, which I'll say again here. Moore theory says that this is going to go behind glass, probably cheap glass from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And it's going to go into a room with poor lighting. People's houses are not galleries, right? It's going to go into a room with poor lighting where they got a sale on the lamp or whatever at Home Depot and the bulb only cost $1. And so you're going to get not good daylight lights, you're not going to get good anything, and it's going to look bad. It's not going to look as good as when you had it out in the sunlight. And you're going to be confused because you're going to go to their house and you're going to be like, that doesn't look like what I painted. And the reason is the Moore theory. You should have bounced up the contrast. You should have bounced up the darks, the lights. Right before I frame something, I'll go in with a marker and I will make it pitch black in the dark areas. I'll sit there and just hammer it with that marker until I'm happy. And it cannot accept any more pigment. And that's when I'm happy and I put it behind the frame. Alright. That is an unusual color right there. That is light. I know that's light butterscotch. I know that. So we'll do butterscotch 910.4. We really should be doing this with the pencils. But did I mention I'm OCD? I did? Okay. And then below that, so that's coming up. That's going to be like that, and that looks alright. The tricky part here is going to be up top. That is a saturated brown, man. Let's try Blood Elf 9. Blood Elf 9 going to do... That's it! This is Unison Brown Earth 9, but it says BE and makes me think of Blood Elf because I play too much WoW. Alright, and then as you come down through here, it's going to be less Blood Elf. It's going to be, ooh, you got some Blood Elf up here. Right through there. That looks pretty good. So this is Unison pastel. I love Unison. Not quite as much as Great American, but that's my own personal preference. How much time we got? We got plenty of time. We're hauling through this. It's not looking bad at all. Alright, a little more Blood Elf through there. And again, I want to go a little more saturated on this. Oh, now we have a darker brown. Here's Blood Elf 5. How's that going to look? Is that going to look alright? That actually looks terrible. Congratulations. What about Blood Elf 6? That looks too dark is what it looks like. Guess we could just get some stripes in there. And over through here. That still looks so terrible. What do I need there? I just need a saturated, darker brown. Let me go to Blood Elf 17. How's that going to look? This might be what I was hoping for. Alright. Go over that nasty, too dark stuff there. And the base coat, you just want to put color in here. But I'm OCD, so I'm going a little too far with this. In reality, you should have just pretty much finished at this point. But I figure you guys want 90 minutes worth. So my 2 users that watch will be happy. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay, so as you get down here, it's really, really light. Oh, what do we got? We got Blood Elf 14. Try that. Like underneath the eyes. Ooh, that looks good. And then around the eyes we got a white. So we have gray 28, which is labeled as white. Okay, so Unisign. I pick up gray 28 and it says white. So my question is, why isn't this labeled as white instead of gray 28? Cross through there. A little white there, a little white here. Maybe it's the 28th gray, meaning it's the brightest gray of the gray set. I don't know. Congratulations, you have put makeup mascara on the baby lion. Alright. So that looks pretty good. No, don't screensaver on me. No. And I do want some Santa Fe right there. This is going to be mainly pencils, but I want Santa Fe right there. I'm not messing around. Right there. All right. Get this black and just peek it. Through there. And I am going to order more of these in different colors. I want a brown. Alright, that's pretty good. And I want a dark brown on the edge. Go in here with the Blood Elf 5 again. Alright, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And got some Blood Elf 5 like right here. Not a lot, just a little. Just a little. And a little Blood Elf 5 like right there. Little Blood Elf 5 like right there. Then a little bit there. Not pressing hard at all. Just dots. Dots of Blood Elf right there. That looks good. Okay. Your time. Your time. What do we got? Oh, no. I did not do anything with the upper part of the head. He looks freakish, man. I want to, let's go over to my pastels over here that I actually have on camera. Alright, I want to get, what is that? It's like a light butterscotch. What about New Earth 13? Are you going to do me wrong? What? There's not even any pastel coming out. What kind of crap is this? No, you did me wrong, man. How about Blood Elf 7? Just want a light. Just a light smidge up there. That's still doing me wrong. But I know I'm coming back with a pencil, so whatever. Oh man, that needs to be really saturated. We'll try New Earth 5. All of these are doing me terrible, man. Alright, I'm just going to do this with a pencil. It's driving me bananas. Okay, I got the top of the head. That's all I really wanted. Alright, that's good. Alright, now we're going to ditch our thingy and come in here. So we got like a light yellow up here. Come on, glove. Oh, really? Alright. Got half a glove. This is really fancy. So, I have a light yellow here. What do I have to choose from? Light yellow. I could go... Alright, this is just comical. I could go with this. Is that yellow? Looks a little yellow. I did say I wanted it more saturated. That's doing me saturated. We're going to go for 90 minutes today, guys. That's a limit to my stream. Probably too long for YouTube. I doubt anyone actually watches the whole thing, but whatever. I really like this cat and the mouse. Alright, and then through here we have like an area like that. Then over here we have a little bit of this. Alright, and then as we come in, we have more of a pink. Now, I do have a pink. Not sure how eye bleeding this is going to be. That's not too bad. It's not great. Definitely is bright. A little bit of this pink here. And as we come over here, we got more of the pink. Alright, looks pretty good. Then we need to get that blended a little bit, because that is obnoxious. That is a bit too much. And now we need a darker pink. And I do have A17. And this is going to look terrible. Wow. No. No. How about no? What about Red Earth 18? That looks all right. And over here, we don't have as much. We have some, but not as much. All right, looks pretty good. And then we have a lighter pink. Go. All right, we are on the last 30 minutes. What we're going to do I have everything to where I like it. I do want to get like a light calming color in here, and I think that I can do that with this burnt umber. So this is obviously a super light version of burnt umber, but at this point all I want to do is get just some action through here that looks sort of like hairs. Alright, and then through here, same thing. And we're coming over this with pencils, obviously, so I'm not too concerned. And I do like this. It has a nice brown but not in your face quality to it. And then come back around with the pink and get like a more vibrant pink, just for like right through there. Here too. And right through here with this vibrant pink. Okay, so I like that. That looks pretty good. Alright, at this point, I think I'm fairly comfortable with where it is. Other than we need like a little bit of darkness through there, and that's going to be our dark pink. So we can grab a little bit of a darker pink. This is A18. Oh, that's neon pink. I don't want that. Grab a little bit of try Red Earth 9. So just want a little bit dark area there. Nothing major. I just want a hint of something that's going on through there. Like right here too. And over here, you just want a little of it there, a little of it here, and then you want just something up here. And again, we're going to go over this with pencils, so it doesn't really matter. And that is way too much. So just going to get that there. Okay, so looking at the thumbnail, I'm very happy with it so far. So at this point, let's go to the background, and since we're zoomed out to the top, we'll start with the top. Now, I do want to add a fairly significant amount of brown to the background, and I know the reference photo doesn't have a lot of browns, but we're just going to kind of wing that. So let me move my junk here over to another location, grab this tray, and bring it over. Okay, so I picked up a set of Unison greens, and I literally picked this up for the purpose of doing backgrounds. We're just going to get a background and just move this around some. We have like just interest here. Like that. Then you have interest over here. And we can, for the first time, I know you're going to be shocked, probably make the national news here, but I'm going to take the wrapper off. I know I've never taken a wrapper off yet. I'll take a wrapper off for this. I want a smooth background. That's what I want right there. Alright, so there. So I have like a light here, then I have a light here. That looks pretty good. And I know I want some of this color down here as well. Okay, and over here I want some, but not a lot. Just kind of a light touch there. Alright, cool. And now we need a brown up there. So I want to get Lighter brown, but it's not too obnoxious. I'm not sure what to get. I found a brown, but I said I don't want it obnoxious, and this is really obnoxious. Could get Blood Elf 9. Just come down here with that tree sort of thing there. We'll come refine this later. And a little up here. Normally I'd use pan pastel for this, but pan pastel does not like this surface. Like that. So I just want a little bit of the brown. And we'll come back in here with the pan pastel applicators though and smooth a lot of this out. Alright, so now I have whites in the background, so I can get some of my grays. What we can do for the white, we can get the butterscotch. This is 910.6, which is really, really light. We can just come in with that. And I don't want to match the shape of his ear and have this white area growing out of his ear. That's going to be obnoxious. So just want some randomization to it. So this white area there, and then comes out through there. And again, I'm going to get the pan pastel applicator and smooth this out. And then I don't want it touching the tip of his ear. I want it sort of coming out a little through here. Hey, that rhymes. Alright, white area there. And then in the picture it comes out through here. And then you have it here. And then it extends out across through there. This white area comes out through here. No, burning through my butterscotch. No, my precious butterscotch. This is why I don't do landscapes, in case you ever wondered. You will blow through a stick of pastels in like 5 minutes. Alright, and I know my frame is going to cover up probably you see that little hunk there? That's going to be an issue, so my frame is probably going to cover that up. So I'm not too concerned about that right there. Alright, and we come down through here, and it kind of gets lighter and lighter as you go down. Then you have like a little area there. As you come up through here, it's a little lighter. Alright, pretty happy with that. We'll blend this out just like that. Like that. Okay, cool. And over here we have a light area, but it's not as obnoxiously bright as that. So, go through there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Alright, and then we have a lighter area as you come up through here, like that. Okay, so that is it for the lights. Now, at this point, need to introduce some greens. Put my butterscotch up, and I do have a wide selection of greens. Let's start off with Great American Artworks Spruce. And let's see how this looks. That looks terrible. It's one thing I don't like about Great American, the greens, man. Such great, great colors. And then you see the greens. Alright, I like this. I want a nice, vibrant color through there that I can ooh, I like that a lot. Alright, this is green 11. And again, we're taking the wrapper off, or not. They glued the wrapper on or something. Please wait. Okay, let's get the craft knife. You're going to be like that. See if that's going to help us out any. Really? Whatever. Alright, come in here with the greens. This is literally shellacked onto the pastel stick for some reason. We're just laying down dust at this point. Push it in a little bit. Looks pretty good. Alright, we don't want to cover the whole area with this one color. But we do want to get the color down enough to where it looks nice and blurry. Alright, and then up here we have more of it. Okay, and then as we come down, a little less of it, a little more of this. We have a little here, like not a lot. Just a little bit through there, in between the white. Alright, looks pretty good. And then as we come up through here, we have a little more right there. Alright, that looks pretty good. We have more through here. This seems to be the main color of this. Alright, and then of course we have like a lot right here. And down through here, get more. Just pressing it a little lighter. Background takes a long time, unfortunately. Up through there. Alright, our little mouse buddy's going to go down through there. Again, just pressing a little lighter to give it a variance in color. Alright, cool. And now we're going to come through with this green 17. And we're just going to sort of fill in here. This is like a little less saturated green, kind of a olive green. Gonna go through like that. Smidge in a little bit there. Then have a lot of olive green like down through here. Alright, looks pretty good. And up here we have like a brown, so we'll get like this brownish green. Like that, and then brown up there, and we have the brown section over here. And you just want a mottled, unusual color through here. Like that. Okay, cool. And then you have like a little bit of it here. Kind of thing. Okay, cool. And then down here we have like a little more of this brownish green. We don't want a lot because we want the mouse to be his own little thing going there. And then at the bottom we have a darker desaturated green. So I have, this is Brown Earth 34. I like this. This is nice and like darker. A little too dark, but it will make a good filler for down here at the bottom. So let's move up, back up here, and then let's do our fill from here. Like we want just an upward stroke kind of thing going. Like that. A little bit more of that here. And then we have a little bit more there. And just to get some base, like dirt, like right there. Okay, it looks pretty good. And I said we would get some of this. We already have green on here. This is just a pan pastel applicator, and we'll just go over it with this. And just sort of blend it all together like that. Whoa. Let's shake this place down with this thing. Just want to get a blend. Just blend all this together. So the white area, you can blend that. Give it a little bit of the green dust that you picked up. You don't want a pure white area anyway. Just blend it with this. Nice mottled mixed background. We'll come back over here later, give this a little more mix, but for now we're just moving the pastel dust together. Like that. Over here, mix that some. Again, pan pastel is designed for this. If I was not on velour, pan pastel is your way to go. Alright, that looks good. Looks real good. Okay, so we'll blend that a little later, put more pastel on a little later. For now, I want to get the bottom section done. So that is a more saturated green and a darker green. And as you get closer, you want to be darker and more saturated. So especially on the edges, you want to get fairly dark. Get a nice blend of that. Alright, that looks pretty cool. And then we want to mix in a even darker green across through here. That was really dark. As you get towards the edges, you want to get fairly dark. looks good. And then we'll get some of this really super saturated green and mix it in here. You don't want a lot of this, you just want a little. And we'll make the long grass hairs later, but for now I just want the idea of grass. And when you're making grass, you want it to go in different directions. You don't want it all straight up and down. And you want it different colors. You want some nice variations, like we got this super bright green here. Put a little bit of that in there. It's going to go in different directions, and it's going to mix with the other colors. And so you have like this cool looking bright saturated section up here, around his paw, going up through there, and then you want like a desaturated green. So what do we have for desaturated green? We have green 16. So green 16 is a nice, not too light, desaturated green. This is going to be our main green, green 16. You see that? It doesn't draw your eye. It's interesting, but it's not really bright. And it's nice desaturated green. We're going to come up here, and that's going to be sort of our main color for this. As we come up, we got more grasses, we got more, comes up a little here, and then we got little specks of green in there. Like we're going to get this yellow 6. We're just going to have little specks of something in through here. Like you don't really know what it is, you just see something interesting in the grass. Got little sections of it there. And so it's sort of yellowish, greenish yellow. Just have little parts and pieces in through there. So that looks pretty good. All right. So how much time we got left? We got about 8 minutes left. I'm going to stop here. I'm just going to fill the background. And at that point, I think I'm good. So thank you guys for joining, and have a great evening.